The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and the Insta360 Luna Ultra look like the same camera in two different sizes, but one of them costs almost $300 more. So is the Luna Ultra worth it, or do you save your money and grab the Pocket 3? If one thing really separates these two, it's gonna be the zoom. But it's not your typical zoom though. The Pocket 3 has a 20mm lens, and it zooms in digitally about 2 times in 4K. The Luna Ultra has 2 lenses. The wide lens zooms to 2 times, then the telephoto lens comes in at 3 times, 6 times, and doubles again at 12 times. I'm generally not a fan of digital zoom, but the Insta360 Luna Ultra looks pretty good for what it is. It may not look the best in low light situations, as it did in my church, but I do think it's a practical feature to have when trying to get different angles, especially when paired with its other special feature. But more on that later. The zoom on both of these lenses is pretty good. You'll just see it deteriorate more in low light. Otherwise, you'll definitely be able to get some nice wide shots and a couple close-ups with both these cameras. However, the Insta360 Luna Ultra will always have the better image quality because it has a dedicated wide-angle lens and a dedicated telephoto lens, which will be superior to any digital zoom. What about in low light? I set these two in auto exposure, and the Pocket 3 tends to crush the darkest parts of the image, whereas the Insta360 Luna Ultra preserves the details. If you really want to capture more details, the Insta360 Luna also shoots in 8K. For the sake of file size and storage, I choose to keep filming in 4K most of the time. But if you want the ability to reframe or crop your image later on, 8K would be the way to go. Another thing about resolution is that both these cameras, when filming in vertical mode, only achieve 3K resolution. If you turn it to the side, like any other digital camera, you'll be able to use the full resolution of 4K. I know, it's kind of weird, but this is what you gotta do. Let me know in the comments if you're gonna be doing this with your pocket camera. If you wanna push the image that comes out of the Luna Ultra, you got iLog and Dolby Vision, while the Pocket 3 provides D-Log-M and HLG. Unfortunately, neither camera has color recovery when shooting, although you could do this while using the phone app. However, when you're using the camera itself, the preview stays completely desaturated. But even if you're not planning to color grade your footage, the Insta360 Luna provides filters that you could use for photo and video, whereas the Pocket 3 does not. In terms of slow motion, these cameras are nearly a tie. You see, while both can do 4K at 120 frames and 1080p at 240 frames, on the Pocket 3, you can only use these settings when in slow motion mode. And in slow motion mode, the clips record silently with no audio. But on the Insta360 Luna Ultra, you can record this in the regular video mode, so you can have audio, and the slow motion mode. I'm generally in more favor of having functionality and options, so the Insta360 Luna wins this one. If you look closely at both of the bodies, you'll quickly realize how many more buttons you can press on the Insta360 Luna Ultra. With the screen being ever so slightly bigger than the Pocket 3, it's handy to have physical buttons while having a small screen. But even with that small screen, the Insta360 doesn't just win over the Pocket 3 because it has more buttons, but because the screen pops off all the way and doubles as a microphone. So you can do things like set your camera down and then walk 60 feet away and still be able to monitor yourself with the screen and talk directly into a mic for the best sound. And when you detach the screen, you can still have access to those buttons and have fine control. But the only thing that these two end up really sharing in common is that they both have a joystick and a record button. Then at the bottom, you can extend the grip by using the battery grip or use a shorter grip with a 1/4 inch 20 thread. Depending on your pocket size, these cameras are still pocketable even with the bulkier size of the carrying case. When it comes to speed, I prefer the Pocket 3 case because it's easier to remove and feels faster to shoot with. Do note that both of these cases allow you to magnetize 2 filters. The Insta360 Luna Ultra covers the camera, but from all angles. So even though it's a little slower to remove, my camera feels safer. At this point, the Insta360 Luna Ultra is feeling like a no contest win. But there are still a few things that the Pocket 3 is good for that the Insta360 Luna lacks. These cameras are nearly a tie when it comes to special features like dynamic framing or deep tracking, but the Insta360 Luna Ultra is a little better because of its ability to track your face when you walk in and out of frame, and for how long you stay out of frame and then walk back into it. Whereas the Pocket 3 will continue to track you in and out of frame, but over time, it will stop tracking and looking for you. The Luna continues to win over the Pocket 3 by having a built-in tripod in their extended grips. In addition, there is added protection with the rubber door for their micro SD card. Even if you don't use a micro SD card, it has a built-in memory of 50 gigabytes. In my model, 47 gigabytes. Yet, the Pocket 3 gives an advantage when it comes to composing because it gives you grid lines you can actually shoot with. When using the Luna Ultra, the only time that you get a grid is for deep tracking. And then once you set your deep tracking point, the grid disappears. When it comes to overheating, I ran these endurance tests in room temperature in regular video modes. The Pocket 3 never overheated and lasted longer than the Insta360 Luna Ultra by 40 to 50 minutes. But of all the things that stood out to me, it was the ability for the Pocket 3 to be able to record footage right away while in exposure menus. Let's say I'm changing something like shutter speed or ISO in the Pocket 3. In the middle of the menu, I'll be able to hit the record button once. It'll bring me straight to the home screen, and I'll be able to hit the button again to be able to record. But in the Insta360 Luna, if I hit the record button while in the middle of a menu, it won't do anything. It'll just force me to hit back on all those menus all the way back to the home screen before I could actually record. The other features that we can't ignore about this camera include photography and the wireless pairing of mics. In terms of built-in audio with these cameras, it's good enough if you're just an arm's length away. And if you need to be a little bit farther and are dealing with wind, you could use wireless microphones with wind muffs. This is the Insta360 Luna Ultra. This is the microphone test. So today we're going to Sony Creative Spaces and check out their new camera and lens. The Luna pairs with the Insta360 Mic Air and the Mic Pro, and then there's still the pop-off screen with the built-in microphone. The Pocket 3 links straight to the DJI Mic Mini and the DJI Mic 2. Okay, let's talk about how much money we could potentially save or spend between these cameras. The Pocket 3 is around $500, and I've seen it dip closer to $400 on a sale since the newly released Pocket 4 and 4P have been out. Then we have the Luna Ultra, which is $770, and that starts creeping into mirrorless camera money like a Sony or Canon camera. The reason you choose between these two pocket cameras is because you want the best stabilized footage for a good price. So what are some things that'll help teeter your decision between these two cameras? If you want a better photo camera, sure, you can go for something like the Sony ZV-E10, but just know that the video won't be as smooth or stable as a Pocket 3 or Luna Ultra. As feature-packed as a Luna Ultra is, some people even suggest getting a Pocket 3 and pairing it up with an Osmo Action series camera, like an Action 5 or an Action 4. Which is great so that you can also have multi-camera shooting or even get into some water activities. In the end, should you just save your money and get the Pocket 3 or go all in the Insta360 Luna Ultra? While the Pocket 3 is still an excellent camera for many, the Insta360 Luna Ultra has way too many great features that a video creator can't ignore. If you can afford it, go for the Luna Ultra. But if you can't afford to baby your cameras and are thinking of a more adventure style vlogging, you may want to consider these instead.